Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 5 of Visual Novel Book Club. I'm your pal Slowbeef. With me, of course, my good friend Jim.
Hey everybody.
My good friend Pullahoko.
Good evening.
My good friend Devious Vacuum.
Great to see you again.
My good friend TurboC.
Hello. What was that at the end there?
Strip on that one?
You sounded like you weren't too sure.
No, I tripped because I was going to say TurboC at the last second, and then I opted not to.
Oh, that would have been a really funny joke.
No, I know, thank you, yes. Well, you know, it would have been maybe a little appropriate for what we decided to do this season. Who wants to break it? Did we already spoil that? I forget.
TurboC. That sounds like a joke that would have been really funny at the time, and then you'd look back and it'd be like, oh, it wasn't that funny.
Yeah, we're playing TurboC the Dinosaur Hunter.
Yeah, TurboC.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, right? Real pivot on the podcast.
But I think, like, you know, that it's a good life lesson here is that you gotta commit. You know, you just gotta go and do it, the thing. You can't, like, back out at the last second because then it's worse and all your friends on your podcast make fun of you.
We're playing Dream Daddy, everyone. Hello, welcome.
Yay! Dream Daddy.
Speaking of committing and not backing out at the last second.
A bunch of dads that we're gonna date. Get ready. Here we are. So I asked everyone, what dad do you want to date first? And posted a picture of everyone. And we picked Craig.
Yes.
So that is the route that we are on.
Can I tell you what a jerk I am, though? Is that, like...
Oh, do tell.
You gave a list of, like, Brian, Joseph, Robert, Hugo, Craig.
Yeah, etc., etc.
Yeah, etc. So I go, let's just do it in alphabetical order and go with Craig. And then I'm like, oh, Brian, fuck. All right, whatever, I already said Craig, you know, so.
No, but you said Brian looks too much like Ty Tuesday.
I was gonna bring that up, yeah. But, he does, though, is the thing.
Everybody get ready to live the dream of your LP shipping dream as we date a guy who looks like Ty Tuesday in this game. I don't think he looks that much like Ty Tuesday.
No, he doesn't at all. Well, especially, too, because, like, last mag we saw Ty Tuesday, he, like, lost, like, 50 pounds or something ridiculous. Not really, but, like, he was, like, very in shape, you know?
Shoutouts to Ty Tuesday. You're cool.
Yeah, whatever. Enough of him.
This ain't season 1, it's season 5.
As we were doing introductions, I was so trying to figure out a, like, so long bear well joke for Brian, but couldn't do it.
Oh my god.
So I'm just explaining the joke here now for you.
So just formulate your own joke from that. It's a choose your own adventure.
I have some pre like questions before we get into it, but I don't know, because D-Vac, you're kind of leading this one. Like, you've played ahead and everything. Mm-hmm. You're sort of the pioneer, the captain, or whatever this season, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, then no. So, okay. No, like, did everybody have expectations going into this at all? Because I knew it was a Game Grumps game, which I didn't know what to think of exactly, so I expected something kind of, like, wacky and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, not that... But I had this game recommended to me quite a bit, so I just wasn't really sure what to expect at all now, you know, except I've heard it was very good. And so far, I'll say it is, you know, but we can get more into that, I guess, as we go on.
Yeah, like, I saw the Game Grumps name attached to this, like, when it came out, like, really attached everywhere, and I didn't really look into it. I thought it was just like, oh, it's a game that they're playing. I guess that's it.
No, totally. And I mean, not like throwing shade or anything, but it's not like if you hear, like, some Let's Play group is going to make a video game, you're like, oh, well, then it must be. You know what I mean? Like, you have no idea what to expect. Like, is it going to be, like, kind of that kind of humor or what? You know what I mean? Like, if tomorrow it was like, Markiplier made an adventure game, I wouldn't be like, well, fuck yeah, it's going to be good. You know, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I had to, like, I didn't quite understand that Game Grumps is not just, like, 2 people anymore. There's, like, a bunch of people in it now. So when you say Game Grumps made a game, it makes a little more sense after you know that.
Yeah, it wasn't the 2 fuckers on the couch that made it.
Right, yeah.
It was, yeah, it's Game Grumps, I guess, is like a company now that made a bunch of things. But when I first heard it coming out, so this game had, like, I guess 3 strikes on it for me and why I didn't play it. The first was, like, I'm not into dating dads, so that was, like, not interesting to me at all. The second was the Game Grumps name attached to it, and super attached to it. And there was probably some drama around them at the time, saying something racist or something.
I think, yeah. Well, actually, wait. Was that, I think, because there's a thing I'm thinking of with JonTron and all that stuff, which I think came later.
Yeah, I think this was before that stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, and he wasn't part of Game Grumps when that went down anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been other drama about them, but
fair.
I used to like them, and now I'm just like, whatever, I take it or leave it. So when I saw the name, I'm like, and how it was heavily implied, I was just like, And then the third thing is when this game came out, this was like during the peak of when people are making daddy kink jokes.
Yeah.
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 That was like the whole point, yeah.
Like, that was my big sticking point where it's like, okay, how earnest is this game? Am I just playing somebody's fetish game, or what's going on here?
Or a mean joke.
Yeah, or just like, is it a big haha look?
And like, this is where it's like, maybe the marketing could have been more clear about, you are an adult male dating other adult males.
You're a dad dating dads.
Yeah, not just, hey, you're dating a dad, when there's this big, weird kink going around that people make ironic jokes that sound too in detail to actually be ironic.
I was expecting, I guess, like, there was a point, too, in gaming where dads were kind of the new zombies, or the hipster zombies, where it's like there was, like, Shower with Your Dad Simulator, and, like...
Kratos is a dad now.
Yeah, well, technically he was previously, too, except he killed his wife and kids, but, well, I was a big God of War fan. What? Now it's Dad of War. See? Did anyone make? I
feel like that's such like a marker of like how things have changed in gaming.
Yeah, no, this kid made it a little longer. You know, he's getting better.
Well, it was Kratos, previously a dad.
Right. Yeah, he gets a big F in the fatherhood.
It takes a real man to be a dad.
So, no, but, like, when I first heard of it, I wasn't necessarily thinking the daddy thing. I was thinking more of, like, that kind of jokey meme or whatever. So, I guess, like, I'm surprised it's played as, I want to avoid the, all right, excuse the pun, played as straight as it is, you know? Like, it's just like, no, it's a dating sim. Like, it's with dads. It's what it says on the box, where the more obvious and cheaper way of doing it would be like, we're dating dads, haha, kids, get it? You know, but it's, like, played just, like, the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Yeah, it's a really sweet game.
I want to say that I was expecting something, like, having no knowledge of it, I was expecting something, like, really earnest, or possibly even just, like, catering to the whole daddy kink thing. But what is really grabbing me about this is that the writing is really good. Like, it's really good from, like, the first bit.
It's heartwarming.
And the characters are cool.
Sure. And the expectation that, like, when you hear about, like, oh, it's streamers combined with, oh, it's going to be wacky dad stuff because we're doing outrageous dad things, the expectation is completely different from the reality. You're just like, wait a second, this isn't anything that I thought it was going to be?
No, totally.
So, going in, I was expecting a lot of dad puns, and I was not disappointed in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, like, I think the writing is just, like, a lot smarter than, you know, again, not, like, really not, like, saying anything bad against anybody. It's just, like, it was a lot better than any sort of baseline I'd expected. Like, you know.
I mean, if we were to take this to an extreme, let's say, oh, it's the PewDiePie game, and it came out and it was like Shakespeare or whatever. That's like the extreme of it.
Mm-hmm.
So PewDiePie did make a game, and it was a really boring phone app where you just clicked a bunch.
The reason I kept qualifying it, like, I'm not saying anything, is not because, like, I don't want to start drama or anything. It's more just that, like, I don't know, I don't know, like, that much about modern game rumps. I don't really watch them, like, not anything, but, like, so, for me, I wasn't expecting the whack, if you said PewDiePie had made Dream Daddy, I would have been like, okay, well, gonna get ready for a lot of, like, the word penis and every synonym for it, like, every other dialogue box or something, you know? So here I was kind of like, it's probably gonna be, like, a, you know, appeal to the kids kind of humor, maybe nothing too bad, you know, but, like, average YouTube streamer, like, what you'd expect, and it, like, it goes above that waterline.
Yeah, I mean, when you first hear about, like, people who just play video games making a game and having no real development, or, like, creative experience other than making videos, you're like, okay, this isn't going to be too good. But you know, considering the people that play the games aren't really the makers of it, there was actually developers. It's great.
All right, before we restate the same thing like 8 times in a row and talk, but no, but like, all right, what did we so you want to actually get into it, or is there anything else Let's do it then.
When you start the game, you create your character. So you have a bunch of different dimensions, but I think one of the most important ones is the body type. So you can be there's sort of like a medium muscular, a thin, and then a chubby. And then you can have a binder or not a binder, and then all kinds of customization on top of that.
Oh, I didn't even think about it as a binder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it as like a really short tank top, but no. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, it does kind of look like bandages. I mean, I don't know, but it's you can be trans in this game, then you can customize your dad all how you want and have your own name, and so you can play as a different character every time. So everyone, tell me about your dads.
I want to start.
Yeah, who did you make? You just made you, right?
Yeah, slowbeef, and it looks like me. I'm not good at character creation.
Well, you are a dad, so it's good that it can capture.
Video games are not an escape for me.
The full dad's state space of all possible dads. You're in there.
Mm-hmm.
When I played, the first time I played as Francis York Morgan from Deadly Premonition, and this time I'm playing as Smart Goku. That's Goku, but with glasses.
You can tell he's smart because he's got the glasses.
Wait, so now, quick question about Smart Goku. Is Smart your first name and Goku your last name?
No, it's a Smart Goku first name, Saiyan last name, because I wanted everyone to call him Smart Goku.
Not Super Saiyan, really?
Oh, no, I didn't think about it. Well, his hair, the hair's black. You could be Super Saiyan Goku, also.
We have to mention, there is literal Goku hair.
Oh yeah, it's so awesome.
Yeah, you can have the Goku hair. It's hilarious. It's good.
So it's weird, like, going into this, a lot of the character options, like, you get into body type and you're like, okay, these are reasonable. And then when you get to lips, like, all of them seemed like really jokey, and I couldn't find anyone that really suited what I was going for. Because, like, you can either have a line.
It was kind of at that point that I realized what kind of game this is. It's like, okay, there's no way you can make a dad that actually looks, like, cool. You have to make, like, a jokey dad.
Well, no dads are cool, first of all.
Yeah.
But also, I think it gives you enough space to make... I mean, you're still making a cartoon.
I gave my microphone the finger just now, by the way.
None of us are cool. We have a podcast.
There's 2 options for dads. There are like pursed lips with a smile, and then I guess there's a third, grimace dad. That's what you get.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of goofy options definitely for the face.
And the shirts too.
But I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad.
So for my character, I was gonna go and just make myself, but then I'm like, that's weird. I went through this like whole crisis of like, I'm not ready to be a dad. I'm not that old. So I was like, okay, I'll just make something else. So I started making like, I tried to make a very twink character, and I think I went a little too much, because now it just looks like a child. And so now it's really weird, because you have a kid in this game, and my character does not look old enough to have a kid.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. Oh yeah.
Your character looks like Cool Dad.
Not even Cool Dad. Turbo looks like a junior in high school as opposed to his daughter, a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like in college instead of 18, yeah.
It was weird.
What is that thing above your glasses? Is that like a head piercing?
Yeah, it's a piercing. I'm not sure how exactly you pierce that, because it's like right into the temple.
I've heard about this, though. There's like these subdermal things they do now, and they're like, they get infected and they're terrible, but like...
Oh, and since I didn't realize that was a binder until just now, I guess my character's trans.
Oh yeah, now looking at it, yeah, it does just look like a short tank top, but I believe that was the intention.
I remember that being the intent. I remember reading about that.
So yeah, looking at Slowbeef's dad, he looks like a little more tired than you do.
I don't know if that's true.
That's how tired you feel.
There are a pair of tired dad eyes. Like, Slowbeef definitely used it. I think I did too. They are perfect tired dad eyes. Like, I just cannot deal with this shit anymore, guys.
That's what the younger kids will do to you. I think our dad, this Slowbeef, has weathered that storm, thankfully. So.
All right, so let's start the game. So the initial premise of the game is that you are moving to a new house.
Wait. Sorry, did we talk about Pullah's dad though?
Oh yeah, Pullah. You want to talk about your dad?
Oh, I just made me. There's no story there. I just made me.
Okay, moving on. Sorry, I pulled that out, everyone. I ruined everything.
Okay, so we're moving from our old house to a new house with our daughter, Amanda, who is 18 and a senior in high school and going to start college.
Quick, what's your middle name?
Anne.
Okay, you got a dad point.
Oh, great. I'm min-maxing the podcast.
I'm sorry, do your kids, like, quiz you throughout the day?
Hold on, dads would totally not get your middle name. They would forget.
Dad, what? What are you talking about? Dads know their middle name.
Not with two, with more than one kid. They'd be like, Janie, what? I forgot your middle name. It doesn't make a difference. You get over here.
The other one.
Oh. So we're moving to a new house, and we hear. So I think this is also cool. There's a bit of backstory, and you can choose. So the story is that your spouse has passed away, and now you are downsizing, and you can choose the backstory of whether your previous spouse was a man or a woman, and whether Amanda was adopted or not. And I thought that was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yep. Just a quick question. Forget. We'll figure it out later on. I'm wondering if it affects the later story, but we don't need to know that now. We'll find out.
It affects little asides and stuff like that.
I chose my spouse to be female because I didn't want my dad to be gay.
Well, I mean, you're right. He's bi now.
Yeah. Why? What's everyone laughing? That's exactly right. Anyway.
What happens later in the game?
And so let's talk about our dad and the sort of the voice of this game. So right away, our daughter, she makes fun of us because we were in a ska band. They have a lot of rapport. Us and Amanda, we have a lot in common, I guess, and we all kind of talk I don't know how to describe the voice of this game. It makes sense. It's oh man, I don't know. I feel like it's almost
imagine if your life with somebody was just like a 2-man comedy show or something, and it was just constantly that.
Yeah, and that's why it's there's the Game Grumps, right? There's the sort of LP commentary comedian type of voice.
And it's good writing, but I'm like, what kid is this close to their parents?
Yeah, nobody is this clever. No dad is this clever, no girl is this clever.
Yeah, and it's super really the call and response, it's really back and forth constantly. And if this had more long speeches in it and was more people walking and talking, this would be an Aaron Sorkin script, because it's got one of those oh, there's always a sassy comment from one character and then the other another comment from another character, and then right back and forth.
Yeah, it just never misses a beat. There's not really any downtime.
Yeah, there's no breakdown. It just keeps going,
except for one spot, which we'll talk about.
Right.
I was just gonna mention that Amanda, in her prodding, constantly makes fun of us for liking ska when we were younger, and I felt explicitly called out.
Yeah, this is, I was talking about this before we started. It definitely feels like the dads are supposed to be us, the millennial generation, but when a little bit in the future when we have teenage children. But then at the same time, we want our daughter to explain memes to us, and no, so I don't know, who are we?
I don't know, because even if this is 40-something dad, even people early 40s know, understand that stuff, unless you're you've been walled off from culture for years.
I think though, I feel like I got what they were sort of going for in a way. Explicitly asking what are memes. I could see it one way or the other. Although I will say, like, I feel like I've heard someone my age, like, ask, what are memes, but not that, like, ironic pronunciation of memes, like, genuinely, like, no, what is that? And it's like, oh, that's the thing people on the internet do with the graphic, you know?
Yeah, so this is a normie dad who just isn't extremely online like all of us.
I don't know. He's like really clever and sarcastic, so he would probably know what they are, but maybe not know what's popular.
He secretly has a Twitch channel.
Oh, totally.
But the only thing with this is and not to skip ahead, but like social media gets involved later, and while he knows what Twitter is, like they're like he's like, I can't like sign up for a social media thing on my own. My daughter has to help me, which I think gets into that trope of like, you know, dads needing their kids help, or parents really needing their kids to help them with technology, you know?
Yeah.
Right, but that hasn't applied in 20 years. Like, it's like...
It also seems like our dad just kind of has a little bit of social anxiety.
Yeah, there's that too, right?
I also think he is constantly tired, because every time you get, like, a dialogue option, there's the third option was, like, go to sleep.
It's true. Take a nap.
And, like, that is very much the millennial kicking in there, but...
Yeah.
So yeah, our dad is a little millennial, and our daughter is also, like, a little millennial. It's definitely that voice. I think an interesting thing about this game, to me, is that the sort of the voice and the writing style feels very masculine, which I think is super interesting for a dating visual novel. Like, it's very, like, friendly and sincere, but it's not, I don't know, it's not I don't know, it doesn't have that, it has a very unique voice, which makes me feel like, oh, like, yeah, here's some Let's Players, like, it feels like that, but it's a dating game. And I think that's a really cool voice.
Okay. Well, let me ask this, because I know you have more VN experience, or dating sim experience specifically, than the rest of us, but, like, do you think there's also maybe a bit of a culture gap thing there? Because, like, is it maybe, like, a Western-Eastern thing? Or does it sound, like, distinct from other stuff?
No, I mean, I think it feels very unique. Like, yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, okay. The voice is like, here's a bunch of LPers joking, instead of, and even though, like, you know, we're sort of all in, like, games Twitter and, like, games, like, social space where, like, we're all, you know, there's journalists and developers and Let's Players and, you know, Twitch streamers, and we're all kind of in the same space. It has a different voice than, stuff. I mean, even, like, compared to Hustlecat, recently I've played Butterfly Soup, I've been playing Ghosts of Miami, and those have, totally, it's its own thing. I don't know. I don't have great words to describe it, but maybe I'll come up with them over the course of the season.
Gotcha.
It definitely feels like this is a group of dads who can all, like, and surprisingly all of them are comfortable kind of like in that broing around thing without like, there is one explicit bro dad, but like the rest are just kind of like comfortable in that sort of mentality where, like, you don't normally see that.
I feel like I would be friends with all of these people, right? Like, yeah. They all seem like people you want to be friends with.
Like, even the bro dad is not obnoxiously bro where it gets annoying. Like, it just seems like nice dude who's, like, into sports and says bro a lot, yeah. You know? Or personal fitness, I suppose. Well, again, not to get ahead of ourselves.
So, yeah, we'll get to it. So, we move out of the house where we had lived with our spouse for 20 years, and we're downsizing to a new house, and as we're driving, Amanda's like, oh, pitch me on this house, and we're like, oh, it has a 2-car garage, or it has, like, a laundry machine in it, and stuff like inputs and stuff like that. It's real goofy. And they finally arrive and unpack, and you have different options on what you should do when you arrive. But the main thing is you have moved into this cul-de-sac and set out to sort of get to know the neighborhood and meet your neighbors and all that stuff. So what did you guys pick to do first?
Oh, I went to the coffee shop.
Me too, yeah.
All right, let's talk about that. So you go to the coffee shop where we meet the...
one thing was, like, the options were, like, let's get a cup of coffee, or let's take a nap, and one other thing.
And go to the park. walk around.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, no, let's get a cup of coffee because I like coffee. But anyway, it goes to the coffee shop. Sorry.
I think the coffee makes the most sense because it's like 10 a.m. Yeah, when they get there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's also like one of the dad jokes that comes up. It's like, oh, dads, they need coffee in the morning, and they really like grilling, and they play with frisbees.
He called it bean juice.
All the loading screens have like little dad tips on them.
Yeah, they're real good.
They are played very straight. They're just like
one of them is drink lots of water.
Yeah, there's one that's like just like be kind to one another. While I was loading up my game to take a screenshot of Smart Goku for all of you, one of them was like, it's called masking tape for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of caught this one as it was like on its way out, but I think it was something like, if someone tells you a drink is too girly, they've never known love.
I got it. No, it's I've got it here. I took a screenshot of it actually. It's if anyone who tells you that a drink isn't manly has never known heartache.
Aww.
Which is
Some real dad wisdom. I wonder where they got all the dad wisdom from.
like you don't know if that's true. Like maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but it sounds like a thing a dad would definitely say to you.
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see. So we get to the coffee shop. So the coffee shop is called the Coffee Spoon. And we meet the owner of the Coffee Spoon, Matt, who is he's the owner, and he's awkward about the things he likes. So relatable to the Let's Play community. People who have a hard time talking about the things they like and think that everything they like is makes them a big nerd and no one cares about it. But we do care about it.
I have the opposite problem. I don't shut up about the things I like.
Well, no, that's sort of his thing, is like he doesn't know when to stop talking. For example, Amanda asks him like what the name of the place like comes from, and he's like, oh, it came from this thing I like, but everyone always asks about that, and now I don't know how to really go with the conversation after that.
And he like says explicitly like, oh, I should stop talking now. I guess I'm talking too much. Okay, I'll stop now.
It's a T.S. Eliot poem, by the way, just in case you're wondering. It's a love song of JL for Proof Rock.
So yeah, he says a lot out loud, like, oh, I should have, that sounded cooler in my head, or whatever. And so our character doesn't know anything about music or poetry or whatever. We only listen to ska.
Mm-hmm.
And but Amanda is like, oh look, you can make a friend. So we're like really nervous walking to the coffee shop. We don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything. Our daughter has to like push us to do anything.
Well, I've actually, so I don't know. There's also a point I feel like where you're kind of like, it's not like maybe that you're so socially awkward either. It might even just be like you're kind of past that. Like there's a point in your life as you get older, it's like, I got the friends that I have, and they're my friends, and I have coworkers, and I have family and stuff, and it's like, I'm not in a particular mood to, like, go out and socialize, you know?
Oh, you gotta go meet people and go places.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like...
It's a young person's game, making friends.
Yeah, totally. Fuck people. They're terrible. I've dealt with them for, like, years. It's, like, enough already.
I also think, and I'm interested to see how this comes up, or if this comes up, I think we're grieving the death of our spouse. It has not been that long. I don't know if it says exactly how long it has been, but like they're just moving now. So it couldn't have been a huge amount of time.
So I played this on the bus. I don't know that I don't think I missed it, but like, did they connect the moving with the death of the spouse explicitly?
No, I just sort of guessed it because that just seems like, because also we don't seem to have a job. So in my mind, I was like, we're on leave and we have to downsize because we only have one income now. But we could just be downsizing because our daughter's about to move out of the house. I don't know.
Yeah, we could work from home. Like, it just doesn't seem to address the issue.
Speaking about the home, I do have to say one thing is when we were in the car driving to the place, Amanda asked us to describe it, and one of the options was it was a 2-car garage. That garage was not 2-car.
One of them was too, like, oh, there's a bunch of places to sleep. I guess if that's a loose definition, sure.
Yeah, there are multiple bedrooms.
Yeah, that's the one I chose.
The square footage is amazing.
Sleepy % run.
No, I read that as him joking though. Like, guess what? Because he says like this play. He says like in an announcer voice, like he's like,
Yeah.
Meg, this beautiful home or whatever it features multiple bedrooms, because it's like a fairly innocuous thing you'd say.
They're all pretty innocuous, yeah.
I kind of read my dad, though, as like, that sounded weird, as the spouse having died a while ago, not really recently. Because also, when he's, like, passing the photograph, they pause, and, like, she kind of pats him on the back, which I feel like if your mother had just died, you're not going to be like, it'll be okay, Dad, let's keep going. You know what I mean? Like, unless you hated her, I don't know.
I know, I think I think that there's a read of it, at least so far, that that Amanda feels like she has to kind of take care of us a little bit, like emotionally, in wake of this. That like it might be hitting her hard, really hard too, but she feels like she can't show that to us for whatever reason.
Yeah, that certainly comes through in the beginning here. That like she's like, nope, I'm fine. What are you gonna do, Dad? What's gonna happen to you?
Yeah.
She's really well adjusted, I think. She's a cool kid.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because she's just about to start her life, right? But I think she, and I don't know, this is like reading a lot into it, but I think you could feel about your parents that she doesn't want him to stop. You know, she doesn't want him to stop living, and just like stay inside and be like, I don't want to do anything anymore.
Yeah. She's recognizing that he has to start his next life and he is not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's kind of I think that it might be a little too deep of a read for this game, but we'll see how it goes.
No, I get it. Like, if not she's feeling that sort of gravity, but I get that. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, let's talk about Matt.
Let's go back to the ska jokes.
Matt is a lot hotter than you would expect someone this socially awkward. I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, it is a dating game.
Well, yeah, no. But I mean, like, all right, he's got the dress, and then he's got one tattoo sleeve, right? Mm-hmm. And a wristwatch and a bracelet. So this is a confident fucking dude, in my opinion. Plus, like, he has this V-neck. What is that, like a sweater kind of thing? No, it's like a shirt, I guess. But, like, and he's got, like, muscles popping out, which is like, yeah, it's a dating sim, but, you know, he dresses like he's ready to, like, he's dressing like he's ready to fuck a dad. And then, you know, and then, like, you know.
I mean, that's the dress code at this coffee shop, but.
Right. So anyway, no, he comes off total dad fucker, but,
he does seem to have the most dad accessories.
Mm-hmm. Dad-salutely.
That's the tattoo he's got on his back. Takes his shirt off, it just reads total dad fucker.
God, that would creep me the F out. Even if I was another dad, I'd be like, nope, I'm out punching.
Speaking of being creeped out, we did see another person at the coffee shop while we were there.
Yeah, we see the mysterious stranger at the coffee shop. And when Matt comes out to bring us coffee, he asks us to help him name his new banana bread that he's going to offer in the coffee shop.
Oh, before we get there, though, like, Matt is real good at writing coffee puns for band names centered mostly around the late 90s into the early, like, into the aughts.
Oh, yes. So, let's go through those, because we get some good choices there.
Yeah, you got Godspeed You Black Coffee, which is Godspeed You Black Emperor, which apparently some people don't get. It is a late 90s Canadian experimental band.
I picked that coffee.
Did you get that one?
No, I didn't. I just drank that coffee.
Okay, there you go.
Because I like black coffee. Sorry, go ahead.
Did it taste good?
I mean, it was a video game.
But did it taste good?
Slowbeef, sometimes you have to make the coffee and then drink the coffee. You take a picture of yourself with the coffee.
That doesn't happen in episode 1.
Oh my god.
That's an achievement later on in Dream Daddy.
Okay, so we also have Ice Tegan and Sarah, which, you know, I think that's a solid pun. Then my favorite, actually, Chai Antford.
Yeah, I loved that one.
Oh, it's so good. And that's a little bit more relevant one.
And he gets excited when you pick that one. I don't know if he gets excited for the others, but...
Oh yeah, you get different reactions from the characters if you pick something that they like a lot, or they like a little, or they don't like. If it's something that they like, then hearts will come out. If they like it a lot, then hearts and eggplant emojis will come out.
Yeah. He got into Chai Antwoord and started talking about the band, and then he's like, oh, I should probably make that, though. Probably make your drink.
And then Amanda orders Macchiato DeMarco, which is another solid one that should have been on the menu.
So, when it's time to name the banana bread, we were talking about this earlier, and a lot of us chose the banana bread Kennedys.
Yep.
Yeah, which is the best one.
which is a reference to the dead Kennedys, which is completely inappropriate for banana bread, which is why it's the best one.
I would order banana bread Kennedys, even if it wasn't any good. I'd just be like, because I'd Instagram that shit straight away.
I would expect more than just like a slice of banana bread, though, if you're having these special names for it.
The act of banana bread is the car, and then Jackie's like holding onto Kennedy. It would be pretty funny if they recreated a murder scene on your banana bread.
And then you could finally figure out who actually did the shot from the angling.
Oh my god.
It's the shooter from the icing knoll.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, that's a dad point.
Okay. This is what this is gonna be.
It comes with a side, and then when you're done with it, they bring you a second side.
Oh my god. Okay, so, we named the banana bread, it's delicious. We see a mysterious figure, aka Robert, across the coffee shop, but we haven't met him yet. He's got a cool leather jacket, I guess. He looks kind of beat up. And what's the next thing? And the next thing I think that we should talk about is going to the park.
Yeah.
I went to the park.
You can walk around, you go to the park. We arrive at the park where we meet Brian. He has a corgi named Maxwell who runs up to us, and we pet the dog, and we have the option of how to pet the dog, which is a level of control that I appreciate in a video game.
Brian also his first action upon seeing another group of people in the dog park is apparently to throw a frisbee directly at their head.
Yeah, we get hit in the face with a frisbee.
Fair.
And Brian comes up and said something along the lines of, like, you shouldn't catch a frisbee like that. And then we can either be good-natured about it or not. I think I said, like, watch out, this is my technique. I'm gonna catch it with my teeth next time.
I said that. Yeah, that was mine.
Which is a really good comeback. There's a lot of good comebacks in this game. So Brian arrives and he has a 10-year-old daughter named Daisy, and we start talking about our kids' accomplishments, and suddenly it's a Pokemon battle.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was adorable.
That was pretty cool.
No, I was on the bus and I was talking to y'all on Discord, and I typed, what was it, like, this is the most charming game ever. And then that happened, and I wrote in all caps, oh my god, I'm talking to Brian, and I spoke way too soon. When that happened, Pokemon Battle was really cool.
So you can do different options on, like, whether it's like brag, daughter, flee, stuff like that, item.
In case we didn't make it clear what was happening, like, Brian's daughter is there, too.
You're deploying your daughters to fight.
Daisy, yeah, the daughters of the Pokemon.
If you choose daughter, it says you can't switch your daughters because you don't have another daughter.
You only have one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like brag, item, flee, and daughter, yeah, but like in 4 characters.
So is there a win state for this? Because I certainly did not.
Nah, I don't think there is.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I was sort of doing the math in my head.
There's one item that gets you a lead, which I got, but then every single action I picked after that, like, took you negative. The only way I could think to do it is if you have to pick that one item no, I'm gonna have to fucking try. You're gonna have to pick that one item in advance. I can't remember what it is. And then, like, I hope when you do the standard brag option, which is like fight, like, you cycle through the ones that Daisy will beat you on, Amanda on, and then get to some good stuff. But I felt like every single one I chose pretty much dropped my HP lower than Daisy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you could beat it or not. We'll have to look it up. But yeah, so the whole vibe is that, like, Brian always has to one-up us. I feel like we're a little jealous. Like, I feel like we could just be happy for someone else, but we're also, like, a little jealous.
Yeah, Brian doesn't come off as, like, an asshole or anything. He's just a nice guy, and we're just competitive with him for some reason.
I don't know about that.
No, he's competitive.
Going into this Pokemon battle, like, the first thing, like, the lead into it is, oh no, my natural dad instincts are kicking in.
Yeah. Yeah, must brag about my child.
Oh, so he has the same thing, then, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think we're that competitive at all, because Brian does strike me as that kind of person who maybe takes that a little too far on their own. Because it's like, if you're talking to, especially kids, like, you want to be like, oh, well, Amanda won the spelling bee. It's like, oh, that's cool. Baby Daisy won the like, maybe you don't lay it on that thick. You know what I mean? Like, you are talking about someone else's kid, too.
Also, my kid's 8 years younger than yours, and still better.
But also, his counter to the spelling bee thing is, mine won it 3 years in a row, which is a dick move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like, that's not something you say, yeah. Like, you would say something like, oh, yeah, it's great. Daisy also, yeah. She competes as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, she loves spelling too, actually. We should, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have, you do a different brag. Yeah. You don't actually try to one-up somebody's kid.
Yes.
And with that age difference, it's more like, oh, like when Amanda was that age, this, and this, right? But it's not like, it's such a weird direct comparison between a 10-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to date Brian right now. That's my point. He came on too strong. I'm sorry.
Also, Brian is canonically the thirstiest because he smacked you in the face with a frisbee.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
All right. So.
All right.
So I see a picture.
That's fucking around.
Yeah, that's so Brian. I don't know. I don't think he looks like Ty Tuesday at all. The more I look at him.
Nah. Not even a little.
No. It's just beard. It's just beard and weight.
Yeah.
But so we meet them, we say goodbye, go home. I think the last thing you do is unpack. And, so we unpack, and, while we're unpacking, our immediate next door neighbor, Joseph, rings our doorbell. I love this conversation. So Joseph looks like a Ken doll. That's his whole kind of vibe. He's a youth pastor. And he shows up with a plate of cookies, and we have such an awkward conversation with each other that he goes, hold on a second. He closes the door and knocks on it again, and then pretends like nothing happened, and you both pretend like you're meeting each other for the first time again, and don't say things that accidentally insult each other.
But I love, their little additions, like, hi, I'm Joseph, your new neighbor. Nice to meet you. I will totally not bring up your dead spouse.
Yeah, it is very jokey and fun. This is great writing, by the way.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, and we're like, it's okay. 4 kids is a totally normal amount of kids to have.
Right, yeah. Yeah, this is all totally great.
God, it's so funny.
Just if you've met someone like that in real life where something went weird and then someone was able to counter that quickly, that's a cool person. You're like, oh, that's a great way to,
yeah.
That made it so much easier for me to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like we're friends now. This is it. You've made the ultimate friendship opening.
I loved it because as soon as Joseph said his awkward thing, pretty much the next line is Joseph saying, can you close the door on me right now? And I'm just like, okay, this is weird. Bye? And then he opens the door again. So
he invites us to a barbecue on Saturday. Of course, there's a neighborhood barbecue, and everybody's going to be there. And so we say yes. And, and also as soon as Joseph hands us the cookies, Amanda appears, takes the cookies, and leaves. And when Joseph is gone, she's already eaten them all. And it's very cute. So that's our next big thing.
Well, then we have to return the cookies, right? Right afterwards for me.
Oh, yeah, is that what you did? So what happened when you returned the cookies?
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice in that, though. He was just let's go return the plate. Which, maybe if you do things in a different order, it works out different.
Yeah, I did the unpacking first, so this encounter was first, and then I had, multiple options, one of which was return the cookies, which I didn't do.
Yeah, I went to return the cookies, too.
It's, honestly, I didn't think a great scene, but, Joseph has 4 children, named, Christopher, Christian, Christina, and Krish, but you meet 3 of them. 2 of them are twins, and they're kind of like that dead-eyed, Children of the Corn kind of thing, where they have, a pink polo shirt and a pink dress, and they stare straight ahead. And Christian seems like he's got his arms folded, and they're supposed to be maybe the twins are definitely supposed to be creepy, in the artwork. I mean,
they have dead eyes, yeah.
They're yeah, and we find it out at the barbecue that they kind of are doing it on purpose.
It's a shtick, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But at any rate, they don't really acknowledge us. Even it's so we're gonna leave this plate here, and they're just not really saying anything. It's okay, we're just gonna leave it on the ground and back away slowly. Sound good, Amanda? Yeah, Dad. and that's what we do.
So I did things in a slightly different order, and when I picked time to take a nap, that was from the coffee shop, and as we head home from the coffee shop, that's when we meet Craig, which is our target for this run.
Whoa.
Yeah, our target dad.
Okay, Maki. Well, everybody listen to season 4. Oh.
Do you want to die?
So when we're walking, so if, I don't know, somewhere in there, you're walking outside and you come across Craig, who is jogging. And Craig, we immediately recognize each other because Craig is our friend from college.
Our ex-roommate.
Yeah, we were really good friends.
Old keg stand Craig.
Old keg stand Craig.
Yeah, and we're immediately freaked out at the thought of Craig being a functional adult.
Craig has one of those. I have one of these too. They're called Baby Bjorns. Yeah, I call them harnesses, but like it's like a thing like you wear your kid, kind of.
Yeah, it's a backwards backpack with a baby in it.
It's basically like you're gonna go tandem jumping with your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't jog in this. Also, that's ridiculous.
Also, just for the record, just to clear this up because it bugs me. Craig, in the shape he is, would not call it jogging. He would call it running.
That's yeah.
Nobody says jogging since the 70s.
He also said he wears his child as more weight for his running.
Yeah.
Craig looks like he escaped Halo to get into this.
Oh my god. Craig is definitely on the blue team. Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Doesn't our dad mention something of like how Craig is in a lot better shape than we remembered him?
Yeah.
Yes, he mentions that Craig one time chugged an entire jar of marinara sauce just because, it's like a smoothie.
Yeah.
I know someone who did that.
I know, weird.
And how good in shape were they?
I don't know. Does that person want to speak up?
It wasn't a jar, okay? I'm in fantastic shape.
Turbo is in fantastic shape.
So we asked him if he's still with Smashly, and his wife, and he says no, we divorced last year. But they have 3 kids. They have twins, and then the baby.
And she still goes by Smashly, by the way.
Yeah, she's still Smashly. I really want to meet Smashly.
What's the baby's name?
Baby's name is River.
Okay, that's another dad point. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
She's really cute too.
Yeah, she's precious. She's being a real good sport about being a running weight, I think.
Yeah. Like, I will say, I don't know what it is about baby Bjorns too, but they do work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, your kid's freaking out. Plus, you get both hands back. It's win-win, but you can't run in them. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. Kids like repetitive movement. Like, sometimes you just take them for a ride, and they're like, oh, this car movement's good for me. Like, that kind of shit just somehow it works.
I'm just, like, the physics of it, like, your kid's crotch bounces a little in it, so I'm, like, jogging, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know that my son would like it. That's what I'm thinking, you know? Craig
also invites us for a bro brunch sometime. We should have a bro brunch together, which was such a mood.
He also, I think he like kind of says they've done it before. Like we should have another bro brunch like back in the day.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What?
So we're reeling. Like he keeps running and we're like reeling. Amanda's like, what's the deal? And he also like knew Amanda when she was first born. And he was like, I haven't seen you since you were River's age. And then we talk about the marinara sauce and we're like, oh my god, I can't believe that Craig is like a responsible adult. And he's like super ripped. Like we keep commenting on that as well, how in shape he is and that we're not. So we're just like blown away that our friend from college is a functional adult, which like, I definitely know that feeling. Like, you know, I've like, definitely had friends in college that I was like, now they're like married and have children and I'm like, oh my god, how?
I was going to say, yeah, I've known those people and like they get super in shape and you're like, what? I remember when you were like 300 pounds and like you just force fed yourself pizza just because you felt like it.
I mean, that's college.
I know, Jim, but you know, some protein shakes, a couple of concentration curls, and I don't know. Anyway.
So, after we've done all that stuff, we eventually head back home. Let's see, where are we in the whole thing? Eventually we end up back home, and we get the mail. And Amanda she's applying to colleges, so she gets a big pile of letters for which colleges she got into, and I felt very nostalgic during this scene. And so she's looking through and she pulls the one letter from her first choice college and finds out that she didn't get in. And she's like, she wants to be a photography major, and she's disappointed because she's like, I made a mistake with my portfolio. But overall, she really takes it in stride. She doesn't seem very upset. She's really, really, really down to earth, which is seems like superhuman for a kid that age.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
She's had to go through a lot, though, losing her mother all those years ago.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think this is like, I think all these undertones are there of, and so, Amanda has two best friends and they're both named Emma. And, and we can't ever remember which one is which. And,
totally.
Where she wants to invite her friends over to the new house to have a sleepover, on the very first day. And we have a choice. And since we're on the Craig route, we picked that we're gonna go to sleep instead of going to the bar to watch the game.
Also, it's the most awkwardly placed the game. It's like ... capital letter the game ?
Yeah, in a very I don't know what the game is, I'm making this up kind of way.
Wow, I love the big game.
Our dad does not watch the game.
No, we're not a game watcher.
No.
And we also, I think we already have a point where we I don't know if we have yet, where we watch TV, and we watch Ice Road Ghost Truckers or whatever.
Yes.
So that's the kind of stuff we like to watch. We like to watch all the bad History Channel shows.
We'll get to that. That's the next day.
It's good, though.
It's a good show. So anyway, when we go to sleep, we wake up, so the next morning, Craig texts us at 6 a.m. to go work out. And we are not into it.
Well, we blow him off right away because we're too tired, right?
Yeah, we fall back asleep at first, and then he texts again. God bless him. And finally, we can choose to not go to the gym, but we choose to go to the gym with him and hang out.
Yes, we are given the option of essentially Garfield Dad.
Garfield Dad?
Have any of you ever had this experience, though, before, where someone really wants you to go to the gym with them in the morning?
100%, yeah.
I've had the experience of someone I'm attracted to wants to do a thing I'm not interested in at that time, and I've gone along with it. Yeah, and tried to be a good sport kind of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely run. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's us right now. I work out sometimes. So we get there and he kind of he's we're trying to front we're more athletic than we are, but he's totally fine with it. And very nice and not being judgmental. So we're just sort of putting all this on ourselves.
Okay, one thing, we get to there and he's stretching outside the gym, which I'm nobody does that.
Yeah.
That's a little ridiculous. There's places in the gym to stretch if you're really that about it. I get what they're going for. That wrote to me as somebody wrote this and hasn't been to the gym in a while. Not like I'm one to talk, but I'm just saying,
Oh, counterpoint, what if we're not a member of that gym?
I mean, it's still a front desk. You can wait there.
But then wait, how are we getting in to use the treadmill later?
Oh, you give him a guest pass.
Spoilers. Oh. Well, I haven't been to the gym in a while, I'll just say that.
Really, the only excuse Craig has for this is if there are two very similar gyms right outside next to each other. And he didn't tell you which one to go to.
It's and I gotta start stretching.
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
There's one that is spelled regular, and then there's another one spelled with a J.
Well, did you notice that they're going to the gym and it was capital T? Just like the game, it was capitalized like that? There's one gym in town, basically.
Yeah. I like that style of humor a lot. And there's a lot of that in this game. So while we're there, we're on the treadmill, and we're trying to keep pace with Craig on his treadmill, and we can't. But we make it, and then I think we turn it off or like fall off at the last minute.
He keeps turning it up. He keeps talking to us and turning it up.
Well, no, he does it, and then we eventually should be like, oh, yeah, sure, I'm going to match him, and then we turn it up, and then that's when we just fall off the back and hit our back.
Oh. I read it as like he was there training us and turning our speed up.
I think he did in the beginning, but yeah, later on, we're just like, well, he turned it up, so here we go. I'll also match it. I'm going 6'7" too.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. That's how yeah.
So the responses that we give while we're at the gym are basically like just kind of like actually trying to do it and not being like, oh, I don't like this or I don't know about anything. We kind of like give it a go. And then at the end, he asks us, what do you like to do in your free time? And there are two like better answers, and then this deceptive answer, which is I love learning, where where we say like, oh, I like to learn about stuff, and we list off like all the different shows that are on, like the high level subject of like all the different bad History Channel shows. And after we're done trying to fake that we don't just watch bad History Channel shows, he goes, oh, so you like all the bad History Channel shows too, huh? And we both like that. And Craig also talks about he's the coach for his kids' softball team, which is adorable. And after we talk about how much we both love the History Channel, Craig reminds us of a time when we were in college together where his fish died, and so we stole a fish for him from like a frat house or something, and they both had to like run out of the party with the fish, and they thought that it would die, but it was alive the next day. It was very sweet.
It was a very sweet moment, yeah.
And then Craig gives us some of his homemade protein shake, which looks scary, but then we drink it, and it's delicious.
I just realized what that sounded like. I just realized.
Yes,
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, totally, yeah.
Yo, you want some of my homemade protein shake? I got you, bro.
Delicious.
Oh, boy.
Bro, it's delicious.
But, like, no protein shake tastes delicious. They just taste better than they look.
Hold on, no, I mean, all right, you're right, yeah, not delicious. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm going to have this in my free time instead of a soda or something like that.
Do you know, someone gave me this advice a long time ago, and it's that any protein that would make a good pudding flavor is like a good protein powder.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that is really good advice. Because I saw they make really weird shit, like nowadays, like caramel crunch stuff, and it's supposed to taste awful.
So you're going to have a tapioca thing?
Yeah, right? Like, I guess so. Oh, I don't know. Is there tapioca? Maybe it would.
That might actually be decent.
Yeah, all right. I know you were making a joke, but now I'm going to order some. Fuck it. Let's get a big drum of protein powder I'll never eat, which is what I always do.
All protein powders taste like chalk. They taste like chalk.
You can mix them. They're not delicious, no.
No, but there's always to be like, oh, I like this. It tastes really good with a hint of chalk.
Just pour some of my butter into this, and then it tastes decent.
No, if you add 1,000 bananas and 2 ice cream scoops of peanut butter, and then like a gallon of milk, it kind of offsets it depending how much you use.
It almost tastes like a milkshake.
If you just dump the protein powder out and just have ice cream instead, that's how you do it.
I'm like this fat streamer, and I'm talking about protein powder like I work out.
I know, you guys are great. Okay, so we get home from the gym, and we immediately fall asleep until it's nearly 4 p.m. And we have to run to a parent-teacher conference at Amanda's school. So we arrive at the school, and we don't know where the classroom is, and we meet who we don't know yet. This is Damien's son, Lucien, who's I don't know, like a punk, like a gothy punk kid, and he gives us the wrong directions to the classroom like a jerk. And so we wander around some more. We're embarrassed, and then Amanda's teacher shows up, Mr. Vega, who is our another dateable dad, Hugo, shows up to reprimand him, and that's how we find our way to the classroom. We wait for his class to be over, and he doesn't seem to have great control over his classroom.
Yeah, it immediately diffuses our embarrassment of being late. It's just like, oh yeah, this guy can't control his class, so like you don't need to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
He also doesn't have a great control over his audio levels.
Yeah.
That was weird.
His voice is a lot louder than everyone else's.
But so Hugo is, like very stereotypically like professorial looking type of outfit. But he's still pretty ripped. Oh yes, and we should say, there's like voice samples that are like reaction noises, but it's not fully voice acted, is what we mean by voice.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ray Narvaez Jr. voices Hugo. That's awesome. That dude's great.
The other Game Grumps, not that Ray is in the Game Grumps, but various members of Game Grumps voice other characters. And then Ray for some reason in there is Hugo.
So Hugo, he also seems to be like very sincere about wanting to learn and like wanting to teach, but maybe like he's not very strict on his class. So we talk about Amanda and how she's been doing, and she hasn't been doing well all of a sudden. And it's unlike her to not turn in assignments, to not be doing stuff, which is kind of a hint that something is going on with Amanda behind the scenes that she's not telling us about. And we're pretty stunned by this. Like, we feel like she normally tells us everything. So, man, typical sort of parent conundrum here of like, oh no, I thought that my kid was telling me everything and they actually aren't. And, as we leave the classroom, we make a pun about Catcher in the Rye.
You ever catch that rye?
And it's really bad.
Yeah, it's like peak that level.
I feel like Hugo should have preemptively broken up with us on the spot as soon as we said that.
I don't know like what you would say in that situation as a teacher, but Hugo is just like, yes.
Yeah, that's all you can say. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're gonna rudely shut down this parent of a kid in your class who you're trying to reach out to, just be like, why don't you get the fuck out of my room? You know what I mean? Like, you kinda...
I can't believe you said that to me. Right in my own classroom.
No, the rye was a metaphor. No, God, alright, sit down. We need to...
But he does do like the whole like the hearts thing when you say it.
Yeah, like he likes your dumb joke.
Yeah, well, I don't get...
Oh yeah, and by the way, it's not like whenever you please another dad or that little indicator of like you won points with them, it's like hearts and eggplants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if they really like it, it's hearts and eggplant emoji, and if they just kind of like it, or it's medium points, I guess. It's probably like 1 or 2 points, right? Like the 1 point is just hearts, and the 2 points is heart and eggplant.
Can they dislike things? Because I got like shadows once.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're screwed, man. You're out.
Wow. Who did you get the shadow from?
It was like Matt in the coffee house, and I wasn't mean to him. I guess I just chose something that he didn't like or whatever, because like shadows came out of him.
Ooh, I don't know.
Did I activate the bad ending where he kills me now?
No.
Was it not Right Said Bread or Banana Bread Kennedys? Was it the third option?
I think it was banana bread. I don't know. It was one of the food or coffee things.
I don't know. We'll have to see later. I think you can definitely pick things that they don't like, but I don't remember the animation.
I guess it's like shadows coming out of it. I don't know.
So we meet up with Amanda and take her home, drive her home from school, and we want to talk in the car about how she's doing. And the conversation is predictably awkward. She doesn't want to talk to us about whatever the problem is.
And she's not really paying attention either, right? Like, she's kind of on her phone.
Yeah, she's on her phone. He's like, we say like, oh, have you been feeling bad lately? And she says, did you read my Twitter? And we're like, what? I talked to your teacher. No, we
were like, you have a Twitter? And she's like, no, never mind, forget it. And we're happy with that, which I think is the right answer.
She's been vague tweeting about him.
Yeah. So we have the choice of we have the choice of McDonald's, or we have food at home. What did everybody pick?
I picked food at home.
I picked the mall.
The mall.
Mall.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone else picked the mall?
Home! That's like all the escapism you can get in this game. This is like as Breath of the Wild as Dream Daddy gets. You get to the mall. Court.
So we go to the shitty mall. If you go to the mall,
You have to jump over a bunch of obstacles, then you go to the top, and then you start breaking glass.
No, you're thinking about Nickelodeon Guts.
Paraglider, please.
oh man. So we get some just really gross nachos and eat them, and it's sort of like bounce back from the awkward conversation. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is like a really very sweet sort of thing of like, there are always like things that like they have this thing that they do together, which is like eat garbage food and like make these kind of jokes and goof around like this, and like that's their relationship, and they have that closeness that, you know, she just doesn't do that with her friends. I just kind of like that. I feel like I can relate to that sort of thing of like, oh, well, I might not tell, you know, that feeling of like, oh, I don't tell my parents like all the stuff going on in my life, but there are still like these very like things that we do together that's just us. And so she won't open up, but it's like their special thing that they do together.
Totally. And like that's, I think, most people's relationship with their parents. It's like, hey, we're going to have a bunch of stuff that we do not see head to head on or can communicate about, but like we have these like 3 things or 4 things that we can like be like, okay, then these are our safe zones. We can go back to communicate that we're cool with each other.
Yeah.
Like if you have a decent relationship with your parents, like that's something you can do.
Yeah, this is definitely like for whatever struggles that they're going through. I think your character and Amanda have a very positive relationship. Like you and your spouse were good parents. Like you're a good dad. And I like that a lot. No matter what, it makes me like feel happy to play it, to see that kind of positive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think too, like when you talk about like, because I think there is going to be a B plot here, obviously, or maybe even the A plot of like kind of Amanda growing apart and having to like say goodbye thing, you know?
He's gonna go to college.
Right. Like I think like with the most typical thing you see now too with like is that sort of like sharp, like starting to fight kind of parent-child thing, you know? Or like the kid rejects the thing that like they used to always do together, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of like that they didn't go there here, and it's like kind of more subtle and better about that. I'm calling out The Sopranos specifically. I hated that put up, but where like Meadow and Carmela are gonna go out to their tea, and she totally rejects him in season 1. Anyway, whatever.
That's a dad reference right there.
There you go. Sopranos. That wasn't that long ago. All right.
Dude, that was 11 years ago.
Shit, it was. Fuck.
So while we're eating nachos, we ask our daughter to explain memes to us. And she does. She does a great job. They're in jokes that by the time you hear about them, they're already not cool. And then we go to Hot Topic.
I copy-pasted that one. That's a really good like way to communicate to people who don't get memes what they are.
Yeah. That it is actually.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter like when the game first came out, and I was like, oh, that's really good.
You win this round, Game Grumps.
We go to Hot Topic.
What? It's not hot topic though. What is it?
Oh, right. Oh, what is it? I didn't write it down.
It's Dead Gotham Beyond.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That is good.
It's even better when you say it out loud.
Dead Gotham Beyond.
Yeah.
So we're in the store, and Amanda's looking around, and she's like, "Oh, we gotta go in here because I threw up here one time." And so we go to the place where she threw up, and we like give a speech about it, and she's like, speech, and we give it a speech about how one time Amanda got sick and threw up. She threw up here on some My Chemical Romance merchandise, which we had to buy and still own to this day.
It's a brilliant story.
It's really good. And so while we're on our way to the checkout with the shirt that Amanda wants to buy from Dead Gotham Beyond, we see a character arguing with the cashier about the period accuracy of a shirt he was gonna buy here.
A blouse.
Yes, and that is Damien. And is arguing about like Victorian versus Edwardian style or something like that.
Yeah. He's obsessed with Victorian clothes, and this is clearly Edwardian.
And he's wearing a cape, folks.
Who wears a cape?
They called it a cloak, but it's definitely a cape.
This is likable Graves.
Oh, Damien? Yeah, likable. Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, you're right. You make a lot of strong arguments, and I'm gonna have to agree with you here. So Damien is the person that obviously I would want to date because he looks like a vampire, and of course I gotta see what's going on with that. Damien's like little voice samples and stuff. He talks and sounds like Double D from Ed, Edd n Eddy, and I feel extremely seen by that. So Damien's great. We only see him for a little bit while he gets mad and storms out, and the cashier is like could not care less. And then we head home. We buy the shirt and we head home, and then we watch the History Channel shows.
Yes.
Tell me about them.
Does anybody have the exact title? Because I didn't. Like, there's the poor thing about this game is there's no actual like you can't look back at the dialogue, and that kind of sucks. It's like Ghost Canadian Paranormal Trucker Investigators or something like that.
Yeah, it's all the shows together.
Yeah.
Ice Road Truckers. Oh, that's a real show, is Ice Road Truckers, actually.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, these are all real History Channel shows.
You haven't seen Ice Road Truckers?
No, what the fuck is Ice Road Truckers? What?
Oh my god!
It's about some truckers that have to drive on the ice in like the very...
I mean, no, I don't mean explain. All right, here it is.
So there's these trucks.
It is quite literally what we just said, but it's awesome.
Wait, the show, by the way, in the game is Long Haul Paranormal Ice Road Ghost Truckers.
Yeah.
The premise is they have to make it over the Canadian tundra before the ice road melts, but also they're hunting ghosts and the trucks are haunted.
Yes.
Yes. Really
Callum and Flint Dogbone are the twin brother truckers.
So, like, the best thing about, like, reality shows on the History Channel is that they are the most forced reality you've ever seen in your life. Like, there's no basis to them at all.
Yeah, they're fake as hell.
Yeah, it's all like, oh, will this truck not go through the ice? And be like, no, it would be horrific if that truck went through the ice. Of course it's not going through the ice. And like, oh yeah, there's ghosts here, and we got all these investigators figure it out. Really? What's gonna happen? Oh, we're gonna get scared, and then nothing will turn up. So, oops. But yeah, it's basically a combination of those two.
It's like, I think we're gonna crash, and then they like take an EVP, and the EVP says you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
There's some good comedic timing in the dialogue in this sequence.
So we go to sleep, we fall asleep watching the History Channel, and Amanda wakes us up again the next day. Amanda wakes us up every day, and we have some kind of like goofy thing that we can do in response.
Yeah, we can't wake up on our own.
That's weird.
We can like pretend to be dead, or be like 5 more minutes.
And also we sleep a lot too, which is,
Maybe we're the dead spouse.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. These could be indicative of Dad being a bit more depressed than perhaps he's letting on.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, I'm a little weirded out by that because it's like, wait a sec, like you're putting your kid through art school, so you got to have a job, which means you know how to wake up on time by now, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's
Yeah. Also, when you're over 40, you can't sleep past 7, so like that's just a thing.
yeah. It's yeah. I'm side eyeing you, Dream Daddy, on this one, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that's why I also at this was the point at which I was like, wait a minute, don't you have a job? And I assumed that we were on leave because our spouse died. Or we quit.
I, as someone who also works from home, I assumed that we were working from home.
I work out at a home.
I also work from home, but I do not. I wake up. Anyway, so it's Saturday, so we didn't even have to wake up anyway. But it's time to head over to the barbecue, where we're gonna meet basically everybody that if you didn't meet them for some through the other reasons, because you just didn't go there or whatever, then we will meet them at this party. So you meet everybody anyway. And
their kids.
We head over to the barbecue, and all their kids. So it's at Joseph's house, and we meet Joseph's whole family, and his wife,
Mary,
yep.
that he's married to. Mary and Joseph. He is in fact actively married to a woman right now in the story.
Not for long.
This Mary, wow, she seems to be kind of a bad mom.
Yeah, because there is a point too. I didn't get how old Krish was supposed to be exactly, because at first I thought Krish was like an infant, or and he's like, "Where's Krish?" And she's like, "Somewhere inside." He's like, "Well, you don't know where," and then he quickly composes himself. Like,
you can hear him gritting his teeth, even when you don't hear him. You can just read the dialogue and be like, "Okay, I can hear that."
Yeah, I think the baby's it's definitely a baby. Krish is a baby, like maybe 1 or 2.
Well, they said toddler later, so which can be like, it sounds like if Krish needs that, is that 1 to 2 range, like not. Krish isn't talking yet, but is walking around on her own. But
extremely dangerous to have just left the baby.
But you cannot leave a toddler alone.
Oh yeah, totally. No, yeah. There's something weird. I do understand Mary's okay, it's the 4th one, but I don't understand it to that extent. You ever heard that thing, the subsequent kids, you...
Oh, no, I've experienced that thing. I'm the oldest of 3, and absolutely the 3rd one had so much more freedom, and I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter.
Yeah, every oldest child is still bitter about it. I'm still bitter about it, yeah.
What up, youngest of 3? Woo!
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
So, at this party, we meet Joseph's, mean wife. Or she's not mean, she's just bad. She's a bad mom. Maybe kind of a bad wife, bad mom. She's drinking a lot.
They're painting her bad.
Yeah.
They're the dialogue box points that out 4 times. She drinks a big sip of her wine.
Yeah, it's a little, let the lady have some wine, but...
Amanda likes her. Also,
her art is just really sneering or condescending. It's clearly the villain character.
Well, I don't know. I also got a kind of a thing of something else is going on here, and she's not cool with it, and I don't know what that is, but something else is going on in this relationship that we're not picking up on yet.
Maybe. Oh, so then anyone that we haven't met yet, we meet at this point. At this point, we've seen Robert, but we haven't met him. So he comes up and says hello, and is I don't know. He's standoffish and.
Hold on a second before we move on though, because here's the thing with Robert. So they tell you Robert, he's haggard, he's nursing a glass of whiskey, which by the way, it's a barbecue at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, which is a weird thing to be.
Yeah.
And then when you start talking to him, he's not nursing the whiskey, he swigs it. So that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
He also doesn't have any children with him.
That I was wondering if I had missed that. I did not, because everyone's kids makes an appearance, except I didn't remember his kid at all, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if he says it yet. I think he says something if you talk to him later. I don't know. Anyway, he is a dad, and we'll find out more about that later.
One thing about all the other dads, we know Joseph is married and Craig is divorced. Do we know the situation with all the other dads?
I don't think so. Not yet.
So, this was a weird thing that I was thinking about as, I had this realization that all of them had kids. I know this is Dream Daddy, but for some reason that didn't click in my head. And I'm like, are all of these, are a majority of these people married? Am I gonna feel like a homewrecker in a lot of these routes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is just one.
No, just the one. Everyone, and they even talk about it. They're like, oh, this is so great. At this cul-de-sac, there's a bunch of single dads, and we're all friends, and it really helps us, be single parents together. It's like a support network, and I don't know. It's very contrived.
Yeah, and my question is, do we call it dad-to-sack or call the dad? Dad-to-sack is also kind of gross, but, call the dad, it's, I don't know, it's tough.
Just call it Final Fantasy 15, huh?
We what do we call it?
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, Amanda keeps pressuring us to make friends, and
Amanda, I'm one step ahead of you. I'm banging all these dads.
I feel like it's at this point. I also wrote in my notes. No wonder she doesn't want to talk to you about her problems. She has to take care of you. So you definitely get that vibe from the way that you interact in public situations.
And she's showing you up. She's already got, like, everyone as her friend.
Yeah, she's hanging out with all the kids, and she's great. She's great with kids. And so we go over... So, I don't know if you'll pick this first, or where you picked it, but we go over to talk to Matt, Hugo, and Craig.
We had to, yeah. It's the route.
You told us to.
Yes, but you can talk to everybody.
Yeah, you do, I think, right? Mm-hmm. It's just that I think all that matters is who you talk to first, or am I wrong on that?
I don't know if it matters. I think it just matters that you go talk to Matt, Hugo, and Craig, and then you make the choice to specifically talk to Craig when it is clear that Matt and Hugo are arguing about art, and Craig is like, I don't know what this is, and so we talk to him, which I feel like is like the nice, like normal thing to do, of like, he's left out of this, let's talk to him. Yeah. And so we choose to talk to him, and just like, I don't know, talk about stuff.
I picked I loved your protein shake while leaving a finger in my mouth. Did everybody get that option? Or okay, never mind.
I don't remember that option.
Oh, alright, never mind then.
I just gestured in my mouth. I just kept pointing to it.
Got any more protein shake?
A protein, and I was shaking my hand in like a cylindrical motion while I said it, like, protein shake, huh?
I feel like Craig would just be like, "Oh yeah, okay, like I have some here." Like he wouldn't even. It would be like, "Here," and like hand you a bottle of protein shake, like.
And like you would do like.
It would fly right over his head.
I drank it on the medicine balls, huh? He's like, I don't remember that. Yeah.
You should be ashamed making all these lewd... It's gonna be weird actually flirting with him with his child right there. Especially if you're, like, getting into the sexy flirting, and River's just gonna be on his chest the entire time.
And Joseph watching along, like, what are these feelings I have?
Or, like, he'll just remain oblivious, and, like, every time he has to do, like, these, like, double takes to the camera, like Jim from The Office, like, this dad ain't getting it. I want his protein shake.
It's like we're just best friends, bro. We're just bros, just guys being dudes.
Now, could you spot me? I'm gonna lay down on the bench press. Just stand right over me there to make sure the bar doesn't fall onto my face, okay, bro?
Oh God! Oh my God, Brent.
Or onto the baby.
The baby's got like a cotton swab, like a Q-tip, and is doing the exercises.
That baby spots you. That baby is the spotter. He's just like, I get a little bit. There you go.
Baby curls.
Oh my God. Okay, so we talk to him. We just kind of talk about like how do you like the neighborhood, like that kind of stuff, and then we move back into the group, and we meet Matt's daughter, Carmencita, who makes him a flower crown, and it's very cute. Carmencita seems cool. We meet Hugo's son, who is, like, smoking a cigarette across the street, and his son isn't, but also then you learn that his son's name is Ernest Hemingway Vega, which honestly, like, why are you surprised that he's smoking across the street? You named him Ernest Hemingway?
That's literally what I put in my notes. My notes was probably a troublemaker because of that awful name.
And, so, yeah, his son is named Ernest. They have a bad relationship. Ernest is a delinquent, type kid, I guess. I don't know. He's just mad. He's mad about everything.
Much like Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, exactly. Like, anyway, you name him Ernest Hemingway, and then you're like, oh no, my child is drinking and smoking, or whatever.
I got him this shotgun, and I thought he would enjoy it.
I don't know that nominative determinism is a problem with this kid. It might just be, I have a dorky name, and I don't like my dad.
Yeah. He probably doesn't he thinks the books are for nerds. So they all talk about, like, how you can't be your kid's best friend. You have to also be an authority figure, and they kind of, like, have some real dad talk.
They also say how you can't be cool as a dad.
Yeah, they're like, we'll never be cool. We're not cool. Can I ever be a cool dad?
Kiss of death for dads.
And they're all like, no. And we yell across the yard.
We shout to Amanda.
Like, I'm cool, right? And she just bursts out laughing and just keeps laughing. So that was very, very fun. I don't know how much we, like, sincerely believe it. I don't know if we're, like, doing a goof, or if we are, like, we are trying to be cool. We're not cool.
Oh, I think we kind of secretly think we are still cool, though.
I think it's possible.
I think so. Like, one day he's gonna, be walking around in his real big fish shirt and be like, hey, Scar, am I right?
Yeah, I don't think he's reached total try-hard, per se, but, like... Well, I mean, the dads have a conversation about this, too, right? Where it's, like, being a good dad versus a cool dad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you want to be the good dad, and you have to be, but everybody wants to kind of be like, I'll be sort of friendly with my kid, just enough, which you kind of can't do, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's what they kind of talk about. So I wonder how much of that is, like, foreshadowing. So we can then talk to the rest of the folks at the party. I went to go talk to Joseph and Damien.
Shocking.
I know. And Joseph's preparing the grill and kind of humoring Damien as he talks about goth stuff. I think we go up and, like, Damien asks, like, so he asks us if we, like, partake in the goth lifestyle or something like that.
Yeah. And also, before we get there, like Joseph asked Damien, like, hey, so your house is painted black? Like he's totally HOAing him. Like, that's not really quite in line with what we're doing in this neighborhood, but okay. Uh-huh.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, come on. That's not going to help the property value of anything. It's black with a red interior. How dare you? But
then he, like, Damien has, like, really practical responses to it, like about how, like, it's more like, it's like power saving because it's like doesn't need to be heated as much and stuff.
Yeah,
and he's like, it does offset the crimson interior.
It is the perfect dad response, actually, though, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
That was pretty. Yeah, I did like Damien after that.
I did too. Like, he's got a good balance of, like, he kind of knows that goth isn't cool, but he doesn't care. It's his lifestyle. So, like, he kind of has a good balance of, like, I can still interact with people, but I still have, like, this is my choice, and this is the way I want to live my life.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a goth, like, this has never been, like, the thing.
Yeah, it's good. He's a good goth dad. He's, like, not trying to be cool. He's, like, genuinely passionate about the things that he likes, and he's not gonna, like, be embarrassed about it.
And if you've maintained this lifestyle for this long, then definitely you are aware of its drawbacks, and you're still okay with that.
Yeah, I wonder a lot about his son, though. I kind of expected Damien's kid to be, like his Lucien is, like, kind of punk looking, and I wanted Damien's son to be, like, a prep, right? Like,
Yeah, normcore kid, like, of course, no bother.
Yeah, like the opposite. Like his form of fuck you dad is like the prep.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of appreciate that he's not like that, because it also does seem like, I don't know, like, it's like the second thing you reach, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that joke, like the second joke you make.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to see, like, yeah, of course, him, like, he's, like, the opposite kind of thing going on here, but it's almost like, when they were writing it, they're like, yeah, that might be the first thing people think of, though, so what if he's like that? And, yeah, I like Damien and Lucien so far.
Oh, and also, that is the second joke, too, like, if... when he corrects Lucien's like, oh, yeah, of course. And then he does the bow. Like, just, is that okay, sir? And, like, he knows, like, okay, I guess I'll give my dad this. I'll bow to his friends and be slightly over the top. And then I'll move on. And, like, that's such a kid thing to do where you're like, yeah, fine, Dad, I'll humor you a little bit. And is this okay? Good enough. Walk away.
Yeah. So they don't have a terrible relationship, but they have, like, they have a little antagonistic relationship. Lucien got a tattoo without Damien knowing about it. But Lucien wants to talk to Joseph of all people, because Joseph, from his, like, polo shirt, you can kind of see that he has a tattoo on his arm. And Lucien's like, whoa, you have a tattoo? And they talk about tattoos, and, like, also then Joseph talking to Lucien, like, it's like a good talk. Like, Joseph is actually pretty good at talking to young people.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, oh, right, he's a youth pastor, and it's not a joke. Like, he's also good at talking to young people.
So, like, I skipped everyone after talking to Craig, because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to ruin my streak with Craig. But, like, is he, like, a good youth pastor?
He seems that way. Like, he talks definitely to Lucien at his level without being, like, over the top or judgmental. which I actually know.
And Lucian thinks he's cool.
Yeah, like I know like tattooed youth ministers for weird reasons, and like they that's how they connect with kids. Is like that, like you don't talk down to kids. Like if you're trying to actually like engage with people and like help them through a bunch of shit. Like even if you are religious, you don't like start on the hard stuff because like that cuts people off. If you're a good person with talking with kids, that works.
I was really hoping he would be more of the sits backwards in the chair kinds of youth pastor.
Oh yeah, turns yep. Yo, he AC Slatered him.
Yeah, I really like that everybody. I feel like there's something like genuinely likable about everybody, and I really like that about the game. And that kind of thing. It's not like Joseph isn't totally like 2-dimensional. Like you like him, and I think he was the one that I was most like, I'm not gonna like this guy, and you do like him by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then the last group you can talk to is Robert and Brian. I didn't really want to talk to them, but if you go talk to them, Robert is actually extremely good and cool. He just makes up a huge bullshit story about how he almost died while camping in response to Brian talking about camping. He like fucking, you want to know how I got these scars as everybody? And is like, my friend almost died, and then he's like, oh, just kidding. We actually went whitewater rafting or whatever, and he lost a sandal.
It was really well done.
I really thought this was good.
Yeah, Robert's really good, actually. And he's like still a dad.
But like you and Brian kind of share this like, what the hell was that about? Kind of like look or like nervous laugh, I forget which.
Yeah.
But like I thought that totally worked. Like it was risky to be sure, like with people you haven't met that you're doing that little con kind of thing, but like he owns up to it, so he's not trying to fuck with them. He's just like not, you know what I mean, like fuck with them like in a bad way. Like it's like, yeah, I did all that, and there's times I thought I left him behind. Nah, I'm just fucking with you, you know? And it's like, It's totally a thing I think most people would laugh at.
Yeah. Yeah, he also gets it tonally, too.
As long as he didn't do that to, like, make him feel embarrassed, then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, because he owns up to it right away after. It's not like he just tricked, like, so they go tell Joseph, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking? You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing.
It's also a really good out for Brian's constant one-upmanship. Like, I feel like it was also, like, very much like, I'm not even gonna play the same game as you. Like, I'm out.
Totally, yeah. I want to like Robert, but he definitely looks like a problem drinker.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But also, like at one, like I said before, when he's like swigging whiskey at a thing where everybody else is kind of chilling, having beers, like you're like, okay, yeah, that's probably like this isn't something you like. More in tune is like this game seems to have like a real good grasp of subtle indications of character behavior, which I was really surprised about, but they do indicate through just little notes. And so it feels as if these sort of little notes are tipping you off, which swigging whiskey at 3 p.m. on a Saturday is not the best indicator for.
Yeah, it's not so divorced from reality that, like, that's not a warning sign. Like, it's still the same kind of warning sign it would be, like, in real life.
Mm. And also something you would do at 25, and it would be like, oh, he's going through a phase, and at 42, you'd be like, not so much.
Yeah.
You got kids, huh? They weren't taken away or anything? Okay, you know. Like.
So, I know, his kids were not taken away.
I know.
Yeah, just FYI, I just want... Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's old slowbeef slandering Robert again. Oh.
I just want just for as a content warning, like the story. He has an adult child who is does not live at home. So then everybody comes together talking again about the History Channel shows that they love. So everybody in this game loves Ghost Ice Road Truckers, which is great. While we're talking to Brian, Amanda and Daisy interrupt us, and we get a nice additional characterization of Daisy and Brian, because Daisy, Brian's 10-year-old daughter, doesn't really know how to play pretend. She's very serious, and and Amanda's like, no, we're like driving a pretend car, and it's the Ice Road Truckers. Oh no, we're gonna crash. What's what's the ghost doing? And she's like, oh no, we're gonna have to survive out in the wilderness. And Daisy's like, oh, like she knows how to survive in the wilderness, and she's like giving like practical advice. And Amanda's like, no, Daisy, we're playing pretend. Which is interesting, right? Like an interesting characterization of this like overachiever kid who's like only knows how to be serious. Like maybe Brian should let her relax a little bit. So after that little scene, Joseph appears and grills burgers for everyone, and all the dads line up and make burger puns.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Robert chimed in on this.
I like that Robert did do that. Like, it's this kind of idea that dads are just these creatures that are compelled to make puns. So even though Robert is like the gruff problem drinker, he has to come in and make his own joke.
Yeah, it's good. I think also, like, I expected Robert to be meaner and like rougher of a person, but he's really not. He's just fucking with everybody. So I'd be interested to see how it goes.
And it also gives you a good indication, this scene does, of why these people are friends. Like, oh, they like, not only are they bonding over being dads, but they are bonding over being dads who appreciate the even ironic like constraint of like, oh, we're just making dad jokes. Come on, we're not cool, even though probably we think we're cool, but we're not really cool.
Yeah. So then all the dads are talking while we're eating burgers, and they're like, "You should be on DadBook. It's the social media we use to connect to each other as dads in this neighborhood." So we're like, okay, we'll make a DadBook profile.
What? What's wrong with DadBook?
No DadBook.
Well, of course there's no dad book.
That's not a real thing.
DadBook's not real, neither is Danganronpa.
There's no cul-de-sac of dads. Maybe.
But it also seems like that's the most obvious of the things that are just like, oh, come on, you're really pushing it. It's like, oh, okay, I get why we're doing this, but come on, DadBook. Like, it couldn't have been like, oh, yeah, like, why aren't you on you don't have to be on Facebook. Why aren't you on this social media site?
Next door. Next dad.
Why weren't you on TinDad?
It does, yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be a dad-focused thing. It could have been a bit more lighter with that. That seems heavy-handed.
GrinDad.
Oh,
no.
Oh, yes. Okay, GrinDad over the ball.
I refuse.
I think we just found the episode title, too.
Yeah, I was just typing it in chat, so I remember it, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so we have one last kind of story beat, which is that we come home, and it seems like we kind of want to hang out with Amanda, but she's gonna go hang out with friends. And she's 18, so she's like, I'm gonna go drive over and hang out with my friends, and he says we'll be back by midnight. And she's about to go to college. So at first I was like, wow, that's like, she can just go, because I wasn't allowed to do that, but it actually is completely reasonable. And but we also like don't do like some of the checks that are sort of like expected of a parent to do, like and we realize this later. So she doesn't respond to our texts as it gets closer to midnight, and it makes me think, like, did your spouse used to do this, so now like you don't know how to do it? We didn't ask where she was going, who she was going with, anything like that. So if she doesn't now that she's not responding, we don't know why. Like, something could have happened to her, and we don't know where to expect her to be. And so we kind of freak out.
This is a tough call, though, because I also feel like there is that sort of stereotype that, like, you know, your mom knows who all your doctors are and your friends and all that stuff, and your dad's kind of that clueless guy in the garage, that sort of thing. So, not that I don't agree per se, but I don't know quite how to read this.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like that stereotype, which I don't really appreciate that. Yeah, but it definitely feels like, oh, mom used to do this, and like you don't know how to do it, which that seems like a lot.
Or it could be like the overcompensating thing where like the dad's like, well, you know, I should ask these questions, but I want to be cool, dad, so I'm not going to ask these questions.
Yeah.
In a dad with like younger kids, like I feel like there's something you could buy about that insofar as like Like, God forbid, like, if I was at the doctor and they're like, what's your daughter's blood type? Like, I'll just tell you, I don't know that off the top of my head, you know? My wife might, I'm sure we have it somewhere, but, like, that's one of those things, then you're in that situation, it's like, oh, shit, why don't I know that? Like, I'm such a terrible parent, you know what I mean? But, like, you can't know everything at hand immediately, you know? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, but this is he's not in the habit of asking her where she's going before she leaves. Because this is something that happens multiple times. This isn't like a permanent fact, like height, weight, blood type. This is, where were you going tonight, right? So it speaks to, like, she has gone out, obviously, many, many, many times. And all of a sudden he's freaking out about it.
Yeah, alright, I mean...
So how did y'all react to this? With your character?
I said I was just scared.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's what I picked too, because I feel like that was the most correct thing of it. I feel like reprimanding her. I mean,
I didn't pick scared, but
the truth is that we got scared.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about this dad.
But you can create the dad.
Yeah.
wait, what were the three options? It was, you can reprimand. This is when she comes back, not when she wakes up the next morning, right?
Yeah, when she comes back, it's like we can either like really get mad or be like you owe me this kind of type of response.
I thought it was more just like you should have texted.
Yeah.
Right? That's I think the one I went with. Which is like not wonderful, but like
Maybe you need to take a little bit of a stern voice in that situation.
Yeah.
yeah, because like, well, I'll be honest too, I didn't realize she was 18 because she said it like after, like I'm 18, which I'm like, oh shit. But it's you know, because it's like,
Then why don't you pay your rent, huh?
you're past curfew. Like, it's an hour and a half. It's a new town. We just moved.
Yeah.
Send a text.
Yeah, it's literally the first night that she's left the house since you moved.
Yeah. Right. Your mother's gone. I can't lose you too.
That's literally what we say, yeah. If you say you got scared.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You put your head in your hands and you're like, you know, it just reminded me so much of that time when your mother...
Oh, I guess I didn't put I was scared.
Yeah, so I think that is more in line of this sort of undercurrent of like where we're not handling it, right? Like we're grieving and depressed, and Amanda feels like she has to kind of take care of us.
Yep. We're also not addressing it with her. Like, even though like there aren't options for that, it just seems like that's sort of the nature of our relationship, in which, like, we don't bring this stuff up. Like, obviously, we just sort of like hint around it, and then we don't. You know, there's no like. We don't ask the questions. We kind of try to remain cool dad, or at least, you know, dad who's okay with everything that's going on, and then we don't get into the real meat of our relationship.
Yeah. So I when I picked that, I didn't know that we were going to mention the spouse's death.
You're gonna guilt trip her.
And I felt like then I was kind of thinking about my character. I was like, you need to be more honest with Amanda about how you feel. So good. You say this. You say it out loud to yourself, so you know.
I don't know. Is that something we want to really it's fine to lean on her a little bit, but like I also feel like that's kind of on us too to like go get help.
Yeah, we're not perfect dads at all.
Yeah, but I think we're not being honest with ourselves about that we need help.
Sure.
And Amanda's picking up on it, and she's trying to help. So the next morning, we wake up and have breakfast, and everything's awkward, and Amanda apologizes, and then I guess you can choose whether or not you apologize or like how you respond.
I made her eggs to kind of smooth things over.
So one of the options is just good.
Yeah. That's like the renegade option.
It wasn't an option, but like yeah. Well, she apologized too in mine. Does that happen when you say you're scared? Yeah.
Yeah, and you apologize back, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a really mature kind of thing. It's like, look, I was home late and I didn't respond, and I said I was going to do something and I didn't do it, so, you know, that's my bad and I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's a very good response, like on Amanda's part too, because it also sort of obviates in a way that whole like kid thing, because it's like I didn't do a thing I said I'd do, you know, not like I'm still under your watch and I should have checked in, sir, or something like that. Even though that's the right answer. No, I'm joking.
Or like on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, God, you're so smothering me. I'm not a little girl anymore. Like the kind of opposite end of that.
Yeah.
Well, you're my little girl. You're all I have left.
She says a line to you that's like, "Is this how it's gonna be when I'm at college?"
Oh yeah,
which is like the big issue.
Yeah. And so that's kind of bothering us. Of like, how is it gonna be when she's in college? Like, are we still gonna be sort of clingy like this?
And also knowing that we can't, like, there's once she goes away to school, like, there is no control there. Like, you're done.
You can't do that.
So then we move on to talking to Amanda before she goes to school to help us put together our dad book profile. And that's what we'll do next time.
By the way, how early did we wake her up that she has time to do this before school?
She doesn't. She seems like she's running late.
She just wakes up on her own, I think.
She's a senior. She doesn't even really need to go anymore.
This seems like a small town, so maybe it doesn't matter as much.
Or maybe they did. Or who knows? Maybe they, did wake up early, even though our dad doesn't.
Also, I don't know what everybody else's senior experience was, but yeah, but we came in late all the time.
Okay. So next time, probably just read till the end, I would guess. Like, read till the end of Craig's route. You go on, you make your dad book profile. So this game, you can talk to whoever you want because you actually choose who to date by who you message on dad book. So you don't have to worry about getting, like, the wrong points, as far as I know. And so there's 3 dates that you go on. So it's probably good. I don't know. If I would say read to the end, and if that ends up being too much, then we'll just split it up in the next recording.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Cool. All right.
All right. See you next time.
Till next time.
We don't have a cool Dream Daddy sign-off line. And I can't think of any that aren't horrible.
GrinDad.
Keep dreaming, daddies.
We'll workshop it.